In this video, we're going to be looking at gold, just at gold today, maybe the 10-year treasury, but specifically at gold. A lot of people are really confused about what's going on with gold, and a lot of people think that this must just be about yields. Because as we do take a look at yields, yields have been steadily rising ever since August. And at the same time, gold has been declining since August. And so is that the story? Is that what's going on? Here we've had yields continuing to fail to break through 176. And gold is back after this recent bounce, retesting its recent low. You can see I have this support that I built in here at 1676. So I want to take a dive into gold and show you what's going on here. I'm going to go to, I'll do a 3-day chart here. If you go to a 3-day chart, sometimes the weekly chart works as well, and you pull it back, you can see that back here in September of 2011, we had the previous all-time high, and then we had a long bear market. We bottomed out here in late 2015, and then we've been on a slow rise ever since. Now, I have been interpreting this the whole time as a long-term cup and handle. A lot of people are struggling to see it that way. And the reason why people don't see it that way is because cup and handle patterns don't normally happen on this long of a time scale. People are looking for them in short-term situations. They're looking for them, across a span of a few weeks, maybe a few months, but not over a span of years. But I think that because of the nature of gold as you know, an inflation hedge, I think that the nature of gold as a slow asset, I view it as a slow asset. So I feel that a lot of price developments on gold take far longer than a typical equity, a typical stock, or something else. So by pulling back, you can see we have a clear cup pattern, right? And we are forming the handle right now as we speak. And we've been forming a handle. You can interpret this however you want, but the reality is, zooming back in here on the 8-hour time frame, actually let's go to a daily time frame. This, what I'm calling the handle, most people are calling a descending channel, descending parallel channel. Now, a lot of people, their channel looks a little bit different. They're doing a line, that's a really bad line. They're connecting this peak with, along here like this. Let me move this out of the way. There you see, it's kind of bad, but you can see that a lot of people are doing it that way because you have the touches there, and then you have the touches here, here, and here on the bottom. That's fine. That makes it a little bit more steep. That makes some of the other little peaks line up. But if you connect our peak down here, peak down here, peak down here, it works out. Doesn't necessarily work out up here, but I have a lot of peaks and lows and connected using this trend line that I started from here. So anyway, the point is you can kind of see, especially throughout this range, it was range bound at that point, and then we got a little bit bigger kind of in the center here. I don't know why this is showing up right here. Anyway, the point is that those trend lines work. So let's get back to what I've been talking about here. I have been putting out videos for a short time, and I've been tracing gold because I think that what's happening with gold is this long-term cup and handle still has some ways to go down to the downside. Now, I had put in this green box. The reason I put in this green box is because I believed, if I go to my weekly chart here, I believe that the most significant support levels are right here at, what is this level? This level is about 1547. You can see touches, if you follow my mouse on the left side, you see touches here, me actually mark this. You have touches here, 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 and this is when it broke through, and then it was resistance here and support here. That is the strongest and lowest level that I might suspect could happen. I'm not saying it will get down that low, but I think that if this pattern plays out, that's the lowest it will go. So this is my my line in the sand. If gold goes below this over the next few months, then I don't know what's going on, and something is clearly going to be wrong with gold. I have a couple of other trend lines. I have a support line that is playing out right here. You can see that it also was support at times right there. And then what we've been coming into contact with is, you can see how I'm marking it and the support lines on the left side of the screen as well. Anyway, so by doing that, I created this green box, and you can see it's not exactly symmetrical, but we have that the point of no return here at the bottom, the holding the line in the sand right there. We have the top of the range right here, and then that center support right in the middle. So that's my green box. This is my buy zone. I've expected, and I think if I, this is the weekly chart. If I go to the daily chart, I've been predicting for some time. I would say before I even started making videos, I was right around this spot back in October, thinking to myself, wow, maybe we were doing a big cup and handle, to which people that I talked to were saying, no, there's no way it's a cup and handle. The backdrop, the macro backdrop and the fundamentals are all pointing to gold just taking off eventually. People talking about gold being manipulated and stuff like that. So I just, and I started making my videos, I want to say, how long ago I started making videos, somewhere in this range. Maybe a little bit earlier, and I was outspoken on Twitter before and about this range. So the point is that I've been saying this for some time, and I don't think that it's out of the question. And so what I've been expecting for a while now is that we would consolidate in this channel. If you want to call it the channel, I'm calling it my handle, and that eventually we would make it into this buy zone. Now, we bounced off the buy zone that I have here at 1675. And we've now come in to retest that. And you can see here on the daily chart, if I pull back here, we've had the last 2 days, including today, we've really had sell-offs, major, it seems like capitulation sell-offs that we've seen in a number of other places. And I said in one of my recent videos that what I was seeing developing right here on this part of the screen was very similar to what we saw when back here, October, November, where we had a major sell down, and then we had a bounce. And even though it tried to come up, it ended up coming down lower. So for a while, I've been looking at what's been developing as a similar situation. And I wasn't sure where the bounce was going to land or where the capitulation was going to happen. Right? It seems that maybe the capitulation has already happened. So, but anyway, I've been expecting this to take place. So, what's ultimately going to happen? It's possible that we're just testing what's going to be the bottom, and that maybe from here on out we're going to start coming up, and then eventually we'll get to the top of our channel here, and so maybe after this we'll start working our way out of this channel. I think that what we're going to see is, I think we're going to bounce around maybe a little bit here, and then I think we're going to sink into my buy zone. Now, the time horizon for this, I'm not certain on. I think that, maybe the best case scenario, if you are somebody who is deeply into some other asset, like say Bitcoin, like I am, then what you're hoping for is that gold consolidates down into July, August, September, maybe even October. If it does, then your exit from Bitcoin at the top of Bitcoin's bull market will coincide with gold's move upward. That would be perfect. I don't know if we're going to get that lucky, but what I suspect is going to happen is that for at least a time, we're going to bounce around in this range, and into the buy zone. And if you're a gold bug, this is where you should be buying. Because I think that it's only going to be a matter of time before either the Fed with QE and with forcing interest rates down and maybe yield curve control. I feel like rates are only going to be able to go for so long before it gets out of hand and the Fed will be forced to respond. Along with that, we have the stimulus package that was just passed. We've got another proposed $3 trillion infrastructure package, and they're talking about doing more stimulus for COVID in April. So everything is setting up for where sometime this year, gold is not going to be held down much longer. And the question is going to be when. I think that if you're not already accumulating, you should be starting. And I think that this green buy zone, this box, is the sweet spot. So I'm predicting we're going to get into this green box, and then sometime between, it could be as soon as April, I don't know, sometime between April and August, we're going to get that final capitulation, and then we're going to get sent up. And I think it's only a matter of time. So I'm actually, I can shorten this buy zone. This buy zone is really large. It's actually only supposed to go into August or September, because I don't really expect it to go much further than that. But anyway, that's my view on gold. That's what gold is doing. This price action is really, I don't know how anybody can look at the price action and think that, gold is strong right now. It's not. Increasing yields are putting pressure on it. It's not the only story, but it's definitely part of the story. But ultimately, it's not going to be long before gold takes off again. So if you are looking for gold, if you're looking for a hard asset, an inflation hedge, it's going to be time before too long. Thanks for watching.